I watched Earth disappear for exactly 3 minutes and 12 seconds. That was how long it remained visible through the aft observation window before the curvature of spacetime swallowed it behind the distortion field. Commander Hayes joked that someone should start a timer. None of us realized it would become the last moment any human from our time would ever witness. We thought we were leaving Earth for 1 year. Earth was about to leave us for 48 centuries. My name is Ethan Carter, mission specialist aboard the interstellar vessel Aurora. There were only 5 of us. Commander Olivia Hayes. Chief Engineer Noah Patel. Astrophysicist Dr. Sophia Young. Medical Officer Marcus Reed. And me. The mission itself wasn't heroic. At least, it didn't seem that way. Earth had already solved hunger, climate collapse, and energy shortages centuries before we launched. Our assignment wasn't to save humanity. It was simply to test a revolutionary faster-than-light corridor discovered near the edge of our solar system. A naturally occurring tunnel through folded space. If successful, humanity would finally reach neighboring stars without spending decades in transit. Every simulation predicted the same thing. The trip would last 1 year from our perspective. Roughly 13 months on Earth. The difference was insignificant. Our families would celebrate 1 extra birthday. Our friends would complain about us missing another football season. Life would continue almost exactly as we left it. At least. That was the mathematics. Reality had written its own equation. The fold corridor looked nothing like science fiction imagined. No swirling blue tunnel. No flashing lights. Only darkness. A darkness so complete that even our instruments refused to describe it. Light entered. Nothing returned. Commander Hayes looked over the cockpit. Crossing in 30 seconds. Nobody answered. Not because we were frightened. Because every person aboard was staring at the impossible void growing larger outside the ship. Sophia whispered almost to herself. Imagine being the first humans to see what's on the other side. Marcus laughed nervously. Hopefully another star. Noah smiled. Or at least somewhere with decent gravity. I kept watching Earth disappear behind us. I didn't know then that I was looking at history. Not just my history. All of human history. The transition lasted less than a heartbeat. No acceleration. No vibration. No sensation whatsoever. 1 blink. And we were somewhere else. Sensors immediately flooded the bridge. Unknown star. 3 planets. 1 gas giant. 2 asteroid belts. Perfectly stable yellow sun. Commander Hayes leaned forward. Navigation. Sophia's fingers danced across holographic controls. We made it. Silence. Then Noah laughed first. Soon all of us were laughing. Years of preparation. Months inside a spacecraft. Billions invested. And humanity had crossed interstellar space without losing a single screw. The celebration lasted exactly 6 minutes. Then the anomaly appeared. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a planet. It wasn't even matter. It was absence. A perfectly spherical region almost 50 kilometers wide where reality itself seemed thinner. Stars behind it stretched into impossible shapes. Light bent around it as though terrified to enter. Sophia frowned. That's impossible. Noah looked over her shoulder. What is it? She shook her head slowly. I don't know. No known phenomenon matched it. Commander Hayes made the obvious decision. We observe only. No approach. Everyone agreed. Until it moved. Not through space. Space moved around it. The sphere remained perfectly still while the universe itself appeared to shift. Marcus quietly muttered. I don't like this. Neither did I. Every instinct told me to leave immediately. Instead, we recorded everything. Because curiosity has always been humanity's greatest strength. And sometimes, its greatest mistake. For the next 11 months we surveyed the surrounding system. The second planet became our primary research site. It was breathtaking. Endless blue oceans. Massive floating forests. Crystal mountains that reflected two moons hanging side by side every evening. No cities. No radio signals. No signs intelligent life had ever existed. Yet nothing felt empty. The planet seemed prepared. As though someone had built an entire world. And forgotten to move in. The atmosphere was nearly identical to Earth's. Gravity measured 98% standard. Fresh water covered almost 70% of the surface. Even native plants produced oxygen compatible with human lungs. Marcus called it the safest alien world humanity could ever hope to find. Within weeks we established a research station overlooking an enormous inland sea. Noah installed fusion generators. Sophia mapped nearby continents. Commander Hayes cataloged mineral resources. I launched autonomous drones across thousands of kilometers. Every report reached the same conclusion. If Earth ever needed another home, this was it. We named the planet Eden. Then strange things began happening. Not dramatic things. Small things. The kind your brain dismisses. My wristwatch stopped. Only mine. Marcus developed a cut-repairing laboratory equipment. By morning, it had vanished without leaving a scar. Sophia noticed she hadn't slept in almost 4 days. Yet she wasn't tired. Commander Hayes compared medical scans taken during launch with current examinations. The results made no sense. Our cells weren't aging. At all. Marcus repeated every test. Blood chemistry. DNA sequencing. Neural activity. Protein decay. Every biological clock inside our bodies had nearly stopped. We're still alive, he whispered. But our cells think less than a week has passed. Noah laughed. So we've discovered the fountain of youth? Marcus didn't smile. No. He stared toward the mountains outside. I think we've discovered something much stranger. It started with our clocks. Every clock aboard Aurora disagreed. Mechanical clocks. Atomic clocks. Quantum chronometers. None showed the same time anymore. The differences weren't seconds. They were hours. Then days. Then weeks. Sophia spent 40 straight hours recalculating our position inside the fold corridor. Finally, she stopped speaking altogether. Commander Hayes entered the laboratory. What did you find? Sophia slowly turned toward us. Her face had gone completely pale. I know why our clocks don't agree. Nobody moved. She swallowed once. The fold corridor wasn't transporting us through space. She looked directly into my eyes. It was transporting us through time. Nobody spoke. The laboratory felt impossibly quiet, broken only by the soft hum of Aurora's life support systems. Commander Hayes finally broke the silence. "Explain." Sophia enlarged a holographic projection of the fold corridor. "We assumed it folded distance." She highlighted thousands of impossible equations dancing across the display. "It doesn't." She looked at each of us. "It folds chronology." Noah frowned. "English." She nodded. "When we crossed the corridor, we weren't simply displaced across light years. We were carried through a region where time flows at an entirely different rate than the rest of the universe." Marcus crossed his arms. "So what does that actually mean?" Sophia hesitated. "It means we've been measuring the wrong clock." She pointed toward Eden. "We've lived here for almost a year." Then she projected another calculation beside it. "Outside this region, time has been moving thousands of times faster." The bridge fell silent again. Commander Hayes slowly asked the question nobody wanted answered. "How much faster?" Sophia closed her eyes before speaking. "I've checked every equation 6 times." She took a breath. "If my calculations are correct, Earth has experienced approximately 4,800 years." The words refused to make sense. 4,800 years. Marcus laughed. Not because it was funny. Because sometimes the human mind rejects reality before accepting it. "No." He shook his head. "That's impossible." "It should be," Sophia answered quietly. "But every instrument agrees." Noah immediately rushed toward engineering. "I'm checking the navigation logs." Commander Hayes looked at me. "Ethan." "Yes." "Open every deep space communication channel." I already knew what would happen. Still. I transmitted. "Mission Aurora requesting response." "Earth Command, do you copy?" "Nothing." Again. "This is Commander Hayes of the exploration vessel Aurora. Respond on any frequency." "Nothing." "Emergency military frequencies." "Nothing." "Commercial satellites." "Nothing." "Civilian networks." "Nothing." It wasn't static. It was silence. The kind of silence only empty history can produce. 3 weeks later, we reached our own solar system. Nobody celebrated. Nobody even spoke as the familiar planets appeared one after another. Neptune, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter. Everything was still there. Yet something felt wrong. The asteroid belt was gone. Not scattered. Not destroyed. Gone. In its place floated millions of perfectly identical metallic structures arranged with impossible precision. Noah stared at the display. "Those weren't built recently." Sophia zoomed in. Entire habitats. Artificial suns. Rotating ecosystems. An entire civilization had once occupied the space between Mars and Jupiter. And judging by the erosion, it had existed for thousands of years. Then disappeared. We continued inward. Mars appeared next. Or what used to be Mars. The red planet had become emerald green. Oceans shimmered beneath white clouds. Gigantic rings circled its equator. Cities stretched across continents. Then we noticed something impossible. There were no lights. No moving aircraft. No orbital traffic. An entire planet. Completely silent. Commander Hayes ordered a closer scan. Life signs appeared instantly. Billions of them. Every city was occupied. Every structure intact. The civilization wasn't dead. It simply wasn't moving. Marcus whispered. What are they doing? Nobody knew. Before we could investigate further, Aurora received its first transmission in nearly 5,000 years. It wasn't radio. It wasn't laser communication. It appeared directly inside every display aboard the ship. One sentence. Welcome home, first voyagers. Then another. We have been waiting for you. No sender. No coordinates. Just those words. Commander Hayes immediately replied. This is Commander Olivia Hayes of Earth Exploration Vessel Aurora. After only 2 seconds, an answer appeared. We know. My skin crawled. They knew exactly who we were. Earth finally came into view. I expected skyscrapers. Orbital elevators. Planet-wide cities. Instead, I saw something beautiful. Earth was green again. Greener than any photograph I'd ever seen. The ocean sparkled. Massive forests covered entire continents. The polar ice had returned. There was almost no visible pollution. Humanity hadn't destroyed its home. It had healed it. But there was something else. A structure surrounding the entire planet. Not a ring. Not a station. A shell. Millions of interconnected platforms floated high above the atmosphere like silver leaves wrapped around Earth. Commander Hayes whispered. My God. Sophia finished the sentence. They built another world around the first one. As Aurora approached, part of the enormous shell unfolded. Not mechanically. Almost. Organically. A corridor opened. Inviting us inside. No weapons targeted us. No warnings appeared. Only guidance lights leading Aurora toward a landing platform larger than New York City. The ship touched down softly. Outside, someone was waiting. At first glance, they looked human. Then I noticed what was missing. No wrinkles. No scars. No blinking. Their eyes shimmered like stars reflected on water. Their skin seemed almost translucent beneath soft silver light. There were hundreds of them. Standing perfectly still. Watching us. Not one spoke. Not one moved. Then, every one of them smiled at the exact same moment. A single voice echoed across the landing platform. Not from one person. From all of them simultaneously. Welcome home. Ancestors. Marcus took one uneasy step backward. Commander Hayes stood firm. I'm Commander Olivia Hayes of Earth. The figures exchanged silent glances. Then the voice answered gently. There has not been an Earth. For over 4,000 years. No one aboard Aurora moved. The beings before us looked human in every measurable way, yet every instinct insisted they were something else. Their expressions were calm, almost compassionate, but behind their silver eyes lay an age so vast it was impossible to comprehend. Commander Hayes stepped down the landing ramp first. If there hasn't been an Earth for 4,000 years, she said evenly, then where are we? The hundreds of figures answered in perfect unison. You are standing on Terra. Hayes frowned. That's Earth. It was. The voice remained gentle. It has become something greater. They guided us through the colossal structure surrounding the planet. There were no vehicles. The floor itself carried us effortlessly through transparent corridors overlooking Earth below. The forest stretched farther than ever before. The oceans were cleaner than any ocean humanity had ever known. Animals once extinct roamed freely across continents. Nature had not merely recovered. It had flourished. Marcus finally asked the question weighing on all of us. Where is everybody? The nearest figure turned toward him. They are here. Marcus looked around. I only see you. Correct. Sophia stared at them. How many individuals are we speaking to? The answer chilled me. 1. Silence. The figure continued. We were once billions. We chose unity. A vast chamber opened before us. Floating above its center was a sphere of light nearly a kilometer across. Inside it flashed countless memories. Children laughing. Cities rising. Wars ending. Stars being explored. Entire civilizations appearing and vanishing in moments. This, the voice said, is humanity. I frowned. No. This is a machine. The being smiled. No. It is every human mind that has ever chosen to remain. My heart skipped. You uploaded yourselves. We continued ourselves. Commander Hayes looked horrified. You abandoned your bodies. We abandoned limitations. The sphere shimmered gently. No hunger. No disease. No loneliness. No death. Marcus whispered. No freedom. For the first time. The chamber became completely silent. One figure approached me alone. Unlike the others, its eyes carried something resembling curiosity. You still define yourself as an individual. I am an individual. It tilted its head. That distinction became obsolete 3,100 years ago. Sophia folded her arms. Then why invite us here? The answer came immediately. Because we cannot become what we once were. Images appeared around us. Early generations of the collective. Perfect. Immortal. Peaceful. Then. Birth rates declined. Eventually. They stopped entirely. No children. No families. No parents. Every new consciousness had been copied from an existing one. Nothing truly new had entered humanity for millennia. We achieved perfection, the voice admitted. Then discovered perfection cannot evolve. The realization struck all of us simultaneously. They had conquered death. Only to imprison themselves in eternity. Commander Hayes asked quietly. So what do you want from us? The great sphere brightened. You. Noah frowned. What does that mean? You possess something that no longer exists. Unpredictability. Choice. Biological evolution. You are the last naturally born humans. Every eye turned toward Marcus. The physician looked almost ill. If we're the last, then humanity ends with us. The collective answered softly. Unless you allow us to begin again. A new projection appeared. A world. Green. Beautiful. Instantly recognizable. Eden. Sophia gasped. You've been there. We built it. Thousands of years ago. The revelation hit like a shockwave. Eden had never been a naturally occurring paradise. It had been engineered. Not as a colony. As a cradle. A place where biological humanity could someday begin again. Commander Hayes stared at the projection. The fold corridor was never an accident. The collective nodded. It was designed. So was our mission. Yes. My stomach tightened. You sent us? No. You sent yourselves. Confusion spread across every face. The sphere expanded, revealing a recording. It wasn't ancient footage. It had been recorded yesterday. Standing inside the image was Commander Hayes. Older. Her hair streaked with gray. Beside her stood Noah. Sophia. Marcus. And me. 20 years older. I watched my older self speak directly toward us. If you're seeing this. Then the corridor worked again. None of us breathed. The older version of me continued. We made the same journey you just completed. We stood where you're standing. And we made the same choice. I felt my knees weaken. What choice? The recording answered. We chose to return. The projection shifted. Cities appeared across Eden. Children played beneath unfamiliar constellations. Human settlements stretched for hundreds of kilometers. Generations lived. And died. Under twin moons. Then, centuries later. Scientists rebuilt the fold corridor. A new exploration crew departed. 5 volunteers. Their faces were ours. Sophia whispered. No. It can't be. The collective spoke with quiet sadness. It has happened many times. Each civilization eventually rediscovers the corridor. Each crew believes they are the first. Each returns to find Earth transformed. Each chooses Eden. Each begins humanity again. Marcus slowly looked around the chamber. It's a cycle. Yes. Commander Hayes finally understood. Earth never truly dies. It simply starts over. I looked through the transparent ceiling toward the blue planet hanging above us. For thousands of years, I had believed humanity moved forward. Instead, it had been moving in circles. Not because it failed. Because it chose to remember what made it human. Not immortality. Not perfection. Not infinite knowledge. Children. Families. Mistakes. Hope. A future no one could predict. The collective opened the landing corridor once more. Our transport to Eden is prepared. You may remain with us forever. Or become the first generation of humanity once again. Commander Hayes turned toward the crew. No vote was needed. I already knew. Noah smiled first. Marcus nodded. Sophia wiped away a single tear. I took one last look at the civilization that had conquered everything. Except the need to begin again. Then we walked toward the shuttle. As Eden's twin moons rose over the horizon once more, I realized something that no equation, no starship, and no immortal civilization had ever managed to defeat. Time doesn't preserve humanity. People do. And sometimes, the only way for the future to survive is for history to be born again.